Hello, good to see you again, James.
Really great to see you too. How are you doing?
Yeah, good. We're in sort of a partial state of lockdown still here in Auckland, as the world has been.
I'm sorry to hear that because here in the UK, we don't have the virus anymore. The pandemic is over.
Yeah, I have a friend there and he's saying that life is pretty much back to normal. Wonderful, right?
Yeah, I mean, amazing, amazing. Really, I mean, it doesn't necessarily reflect the truth, but we'll but we'll see how it all pans out.
And how did you spend your time in lockdown? Did you upskill? Did you learn something? You bake?
It was for me, it was a really desperately sad time for work. Obviously, I was halfway through a world tour, supposed to be a year long, and only got in a month into it. And by the time we got to Germany, we had to send the buses, the trucks, the band, and the crew home. And then I own and run a pub in London, and obviously that had to shut too. So I'm in the wrong business generally. But then I went back to Ibiza, where I live. I'm in Spain, and and that was a wonderful time to spend. I went home and discovered things I didn't even know existed at home, like I had children and stuff like that. And on the whole, I would felt very grateful for to be in lockdown. I did, I had it harder than many people in that I was there with my mother-in-law for 68 days, 11 hours and 36 minutes.
You're bad.
So when we all say that we were in it together, I don't think people necessarily, had it as bad. But otherwise, I felt very, very grateful, in many, many ways. I haven't had it that hard at all. And the UK was sort of back out since July. I've had concerts again. I played in the Royal Albert Hall in July. I was the first full capacity venue in the UK after full lockdown, as if the nation hadn't suffered enough. Very shortly we're back out on the road full time.
How's your pub going?
The pub is open and people are flocking to it. I think It's been devastating for many, many pubs. Lots of places are closed because they were shut for a year and a half and haven't been able to handle the overheads during that time. I suppose I'm lucky I own the building, so I didn't have rent. And so we've been reopened, and those pubs that are still around, lots of people are very keen to go to, because perhaps we've realized through a pandemic that the things we want to spend our money on are our friends and seeing each other and being sociable.
Do you stop in and play a song from time to time, seeing it's your establishment?
I think I'm contractually it's on the license, legally not allowed to play specifically music by James Blunt. Although we do occasionally break the law at 5 to midnight, we might put on You're Beautiful just when we want to clear people out.
Nice. On that, we're here to talk about your greatest hits album, The Stars Beneath My Feet. How did you go searching for the tracks, working out what to put on this compilation?
Well, when the pandemic hit, it was the first time I'd stopped touring. So for me, it was a naturally kind of reflective time in my 17 years of being on the road, to then go through what the hell had just gone on to me for these few years. So I was starting to collect the most meaningful times anyway, and that's when the record label called up and said, "Hey, we'd like to put out a greatest hits." And so I'd been listening to things like, I played the Glastonbury Festival 3 times. It's our most famous festival here in the UK.
Yeah.
And and so I got one what I think was a fantastic performance from the main stage, the Pyramid stage from there. Or a song called I Really Want You, I was struggling with because I loved the song so much, but never captured it in the studio. But live, I've really nailed it. So I went and found a great live performance from New York. A song of mine called Smoke Signals, which is one of my favorite songs I've ever written and recorded, but it was on an extended version of an album. And we all know extended versions of albums are just a record label trying to milk the last drops out of an album, aren't they? The last pennies that they can before Christmas. And so I could take that song and put that on my greatest hits and make an album that, as a man like myself who'd wished that I'd only ever put one album out, like many wished James Blunt had only put one album out. This is that album. That's the collection of songs that I am most excited by.
So of the albums, which is your favorite? If you were to pick one that was your baby, you were most satisfied with?
Do you know what? No, I put all my heart and soul into all of them.
Yeah.
If I had to pick one, well, Back to Bedlam, my first, obviously made the most money. That's what I am. That's kept me going.
Yeah.
But each of them have different moments and songs that mean something to me. On my last album, a song called Monsters is for my father, who had stage 4 chronic kidney disease, and it was a moment where I thought I was going to lose him. And the song is the song of my lifetime to my father. It's a seminal moment for me in my songwriting career.
When you're not touring, you are very active on social media, and you have fun. Have you got a thick skin naturally? Got a thick skin because you give as good as you get?
Definitely.
Yeah.
I was in the army before I was in music, and in the army we all kind of take the mickey out of each other. There's a kind of a dark humor, and that's how we kind of get through life anyway. And that's how we kind of almost show affection towards each other, is by taking the mickey out of each other. And so when I get into the music business, I suppose the hardest thing was at my time when I got into the business, there was no way to respond. You just, journalists would write whatever they liked, and you just had to suck it up. And then they invented Twitter, and suddenly I had a way of replying.
You did.
But with social media, comes natural kind of comment from people, and people can be pretty horrid to each other online. It's not just me. People are pretty mean to everyone, as far as I can tell. When people voice their opinions online rather than face to face, they seem to be fairly unpleasant. And for me, I just thought it was bizarre that we should take that seriously, that people should take their own opinions seriously. So I'd play a concert to 10 or 20,000 people, and then in an interview said, but are you not concerned about these 2 negative things that I've found online? Hang on, but I've just played to 20,000 people. Why are you pointing out this, these 2 guys who are probably at their parents' house writing something negative about me? Why is that a big deal? So I found myself going online and laughing, not just at them, but at myself, for kind of taking it seriously.
And on that, your tweet on Friday, I do solemnly swear that if my new album goes to #1, I'll never write, record, or sing another song for as long as I shall live. What's been the response to that?
Well, look, that's a promise, that's a deal, that's an offer. And if you miss that offer, then, you just don't give me any more grief about anything, because you've had the opportunity of silencing me. So, if you feel strongly about my music, go out and get it this time around, get me to #1, and it's over.
Yeah. Do you think you'll be back to New Zealand at some stage?
Bear in mind, there's only one slight problem, that Adele's albums come out the same day.
Of course. So I wasn't going to raise that, but yeah.
Yeah, but that aside, there's the opportunity was there. And fingers crossed, I'll be down in New Zealand very, very soon. I mean, it's a place I've loved touring. I think you guys have one of the most beautiful countries in the world, wonderful sense of humor, and are really fun to tour. So when the pandemic's over for you, give me a shout.
Will do. This has been about the 4th time I've spoken to you, and I always enjoy our conversation. Take care, and lovely to see you again.
It's really great to see you on good form, and thanks for having me. Take care.
Take care. See you. Thank you so much.